Oh, Genshin Impact, it has certainly been a while, has it not? Oh, okay. Always have to get used to the controls, because there are always pretty big breaks between these episodes. Anyways, let's see if I can get familiar with the controls real quick as I make my way to whatever mission it looks like I'm heading to. I'm heading to the Windwhale Highland. I don't even remember why, but I guess I'm heading toward it, so I'm just gonna take a quick moment to refamiliarize myself, as I typically do. I guess I could do this, I suppose. It's also the closest one, so it's like, might as well. Besides, it... Oh, crap. Okay, I guess I could not get that in time. Besides, it gives me a chance to actually start talking about writing stuff, you know? The thing that I've been intending to do, kind of, focus on since, since you know, that's kind of what this whole series is to begin with. And if I look over here a bunch, I got a little bit of a script. It's just easiest for me to have a script. So what I think I'd like to talk about today could be considered a little bit contested amongst some writers. Maybe not as much okay, maybe not as much amateur writers as, more professional writers. I could be talking about a subject that some people might find a little bit more um do they normally not have dialogue? I could have sworn that they did. No, maybe, okay, maybe I'm thinking of something. Okay, order for delivery. Sure. Hearty meal waiting on my return. Get it, good. Can I take... Oh, nope. I was about to say, can I take multiple missions at once? But nope. Most definitely not. So anyways, what I'd like to talk about today is a writing concept known as show don't tell. Again, some writers, especially like, some of the experienced ones, might be a little bit iffy about me talking about something like that because it is kind of a contested subject. I'm sure that multiple people have received multiple different words of advice about this particular subject, but I thought that it was important to discuss, and I'm not necessarily for or against it, but I can promise I can get to that later. Why, hello there, Reckless Pallid. There's treasure hiding? Yeah, take... what? The frick? Okay, I guess I gotta do this? Okay, what about Morrow? Is it yours? Is... What do you mean what took me so long? Oh, come on. Wow. You were so rude, my man. So rude. Jesu Cristo. So I guess I'll start off by saying that, for years before I had any, professional feedback or suggestions, from professions in the industry, in the writing industry, before I received a bunch of feedback and suggestions about my own writing, I was kind of unaware of how supremely bad at writing I was. Don't get me wrong, there were some things that I was pretty good at, especially on, like, the detail front. But the storytelling front, sometimes the dialogue front, and, like, my, what's the word I'm looking for? My pacing, definitely. I was unaware how actually not good I was at any of those. I did have a lot of diverse story ideas and so many freaking notes on so many different stories. I mean, I still have a lot of those notes and I still remember a lot of them. And I love so many of my characters to death. A lot of writers do, obviously. Once I was actually getting to the writing portion, that told a different story. No pun intended. And I thought that I was doing pretty good. And again, in some ways I was pretty good, but not so much in other ways. Yep, I delivered. I delivered, yep. Crab ham and veggie bake. Interesting combo. Cool. But yeah, there are a lot of ways where my writing was actually pretty decent, but there are also a lot of ways where my writing was very poor. And a big part of the problem with my early writing was that I did a lot of telling, but not really a lot of showing. And in some ways, that's actually perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine to tell for some stories, but for the case of my stories, or at least the ones I was writing at the time, I probably needed to have some more practice. I needed to have a better idea about showing and telling and how to moderate them. What up? How about you take this? Oh, you absolute bish.
Try not to enjoy this too much.
Oh, reinforcements are incoming!
Come a little.
Oh shit.
Don't get frostbite.
And bada bing, bada boom. It's not too difficult. So in order to get a bit of a deeper read on this, let's first ask the question, what is show don't tell? And at its very simplest form, show don't tell is a creative writing technique that gives writers a chance to immerse their readers in their story via actions, emotions, sensory information, and other details. From the story perspective, not necessarily from, like, the writer's perspective. Although, theoretically, both could apply. Wow. That was, super duper uber easy. That one's a little bit farther away, but it would probably get me to level 18. So, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do that. Regarding show don't tell, there are some differences to consider between the two of them. Regardless if people agree with, the show don't tell rule or concept, there are some differences to it, at the very least, be aware of. Telling is probably what people are most familiar with in terms of, when they first start writing. Telling it's very matter of fact, it's very quick and easy to understand. It can often be vague or brief, but not necessarily always. And typically, more than anything, telling is not necessarily super detailed and almost serves more as like a summary to what's going on rather than, like a true story. That probably sounds bad because, telling is a technique that can be used for storytelling. Again, it's more of like a summary than it is, super overly or even a little detailed. So that's telling, and then showing is often, slower to read, but it's more expansive on what you're actually reading. Okay, you just made it much easier for me, man. That was it? Those were all the reinforcements? Shh, come on, man. No, I can't actually... Oh, that's really far. Oh, I gotta go back to the winery. Well, what I can probably do for now is at least head back to Mondstadt, and then I can gain everything that I need from all those commissions that I just completed, and I, leveled up too, so I can get that as well. So yeah, showing is typically slower to read, but a little bit more expansive. It often uses, descriptions, sensory details, thoughts, feelings, actions, and usually... Oh, Ando's online right now? What? That's one of my artist buddies. But I'm unfortunately kind of doing something right now, so... Oh.
You're in for a little shock.
Well, that was, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So yeah, when talking about, sensory details or thoughts or feelings and emotions, usually when I'm speaking about that, I'm talking about, like, something more, like, in-depth, when it comes to showing. Like, I'll explain a little bit later, but usually that kind of stuff allows the reader to experience and immerse in the words that they're actually reading. Unlike telling. Telling doesn't really do that. Oh. But showing does. Typically, if you do it right. But again, like I said earlier, the whole show don't tell technique it's very contested in the writing community. It can be valuable for beginner writers to learn and understand, but many seasoned and even some professional writers question the validity of the existence of this rule or I guess yeah, that's probably the best way to explain it, is that they question its validity as a rule, but not necessarily as practice or a suggestion or advice. Claim data
Thank
commission.
you for completing.
Nice. Ooh, that bumped me up quite a bit. I'll take it.
Oh, you.
This is a token of the. We receive many new commissions
Oh,
every day.
wait, what happened?
And without the efforts of each, if you complete enough commissions each day, you will be eligible to claim a special reward from me.
Didn't I already know this though?
Your adventurer handbook keeps a record of how many adventures you complete each day. Make sure you claim your daily rewards on the days that you complete sufficient adventures.
I thought I already knew this, but okay. Alright. Well, I'm about a quarter-ish of the way through a level 18, so hooray. Now let's go ahead. Let's navigate. Oh, I'm much closer now. Got it. Alright, well, I'm much closer now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and head to that winery. I'm not sure why I did it with a French accent. So where did the show don't tell technique, where did the idea of that even come from? Well, the phrase was initially meant not for novelists and authors, but for screenwriters and playwrights. I believe the original term, or the original phrase, was coined by Anton Chekhov from, I want to say, the 1800s, either like the mid to late 1800s, something like that. Many people think that it's poor advice because it indicates that in all instances you should use show don't tell. At least that's only part of the problem with why some people do have a problem with that that rule, as it were. But it's just not true. I mean, readers and writers alike have their preferences on when and how they wish to get immersed. Because fact of the matter is that show and tell, both of those concepts serve very different purposes when it comes to storytelling, and both are valid in their own right. I will say, in a way, show don't tell does kind of work, because many beginner and newer writers are more used to telling and expositing all the time. All the freaking time. And will sometimes have a lot of bad or boring stories. And I am no exception. Like, I'm saying this because this was exactly me as well for a little bit. Hold up. Is there? Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh. That's a tricky one, but I think I've got an idea of how to do that. So, oh, oh no, 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 no. Oh, no! Oh, are you for real? I ain't for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Oh, I am for real. There it is. Bada bing, bada boom. I've read some of my my older stories well enough to know that I was doing so much telling, and in some cases it wasn't even good telling. No, there was so much expositing in the story. It just felt like I was telling a story, but not like telling a story, you know? That said, the more familiar you become with writing, the more complex that the whole show don't tell concept becomes. It's less of a show don't tell and more of a show and tell, or show versus tell. Ah yes, Diluc. Oh, ouch.
The Abyss Order. Enemies of the human race. Even the underground networks rarely come across any information on them. With that said, it was a bit of a hassle, but I managed to dig up a few clues.
Anything interesting?
That quickly? You really are well connected, Master Diluc.
Come to think of it, Mr. Big Animal God Barbados, why exactly do you need the help of mere humans?
That's a good question, you know. It could be that the gods might not necessarily be as all-powerful as intended. It's also possible that Barbados may be one of the weakest gods, so, because, you know, wind is not, it can be strong, but it's not inherently strong compared to some of the other elements, so, I don't know, maybe maybe he's just inherently very strong. Maybe his powers diminished due to some like catastrophe or like event from decades ago. I don't know.
How do I put it? The Seven, as people now know them, were once known as the Seven Archons. Each Archon presides over their own part of Tevat. That is the role the Archons play. Only in performing this duty can we attain power. But I don't like the idea of ruling Mondstadt, and I don't feel Mondstadt would really like it either.
Go forth and establish a city of freedom without rule. We have not forgotten Barbados' wish for Mondstadt.
Jean, you're such a devotee.
Okay, fine, Mom,
Maybe
really.
someone got a little too free and is just too lazy to care.
Whoa, hey now.
However it may have come to be, I haven't been back to Mondstadt for an extended period of time. Without a doubt, I am now the weakest Archon among the Seven.
What did I say? He was probably like weak or one of the weakest of the gods, or I'm sorry, Archons. Not for the reason that I thought, though. I was correct, but for the wrong reason. Yeah, guess that's why you're the god of the yeah,
Aw,
god Archon.
You flatter me.
Yeah.
Oh, such a humble god. Is it a blessing or a curse?
Why not both?
But we digress. Let's get back to the topic at hand. The common enemy of all mankind. We have tracked the Abyss Mage to the vicinity of the winery.
I cannot stress enough how important it is to not let it escape.
Okay. How do we attract it to the winery exactly? Defeat the assailants. Okay. Yeah, when you become more familiar and experienced with writing, even if it's not necessarily professional, it's still important for any writer to distinguish when you should show and when you should tell and how much of it that you do. Because, again, both have value to them, and both pretty much are necessary in order to, have a story. In order to share your story with others in a way that they will readily receive.
Huh?
Okay.
What's this?
What's what?
After the Abyss Mage was defeated, a certain energy dispersed from its body.
Bid?
It seems that energy was being used to cut off the connection between me and Dvalin. Huh. Do you know of Storm Terror's lair?
I think I've heard people talk about it in Mondstadt.
Of course. I believe the people of Mondstadt all know of it. After Dvalin woke up, he took the ancient ruins as his lair. As it was with the storms that previously cut Mondstadt off from the outside world, the entrance to the ruins is also sealed by a special barrier. But now, as the energy dispersed from the Abyss Mage, I was able to read the rhythmic flow of how the barrier's magic was woven.
You.
I must admit, it sounds even more horrendous than a chorus of hilly churls. But it should be enough to let us break through the storm barrier and reach Storm Terror's lair.
Which means we're going to confront Dvalin? I'm fine with that. Jean is the one who wishes to avoid any direct confrontation.
No. When there are no other options left, it is my responsibility to alter our course of action.
Yeah, Jean's pretty cool.
If slaying him is our only choice, I will gladly become the knight that leads the charge.
Hope we don't have to
Fortunately,
slay him.
we have yet to need to go that far.
By that, you mean...
Venti?
I mean that the Holy Liar is not our trump card.
What is?
Our real trump card? The Traveler, of course.
How is it me?
The Traveler?
That is true. I do have the capability of purifying the teardrops.
Correct. But you have a much more precious forte.
I
The
do?
impurities in the tears and the curse that binds Dvalin belong to the same maleficent power. Which means...
You tone-deaf bard! Don't you see how crazy this is? You've seen what Devon is like when he's ticked off. She'll be swallowed whole before she even gets to lift a finger.
But I'm able to fight. Yeah, it's gonna take everything from everybody.
Nice plan. Worth a shot.
Sure.
I am with you, honorary knight.
Oh, so we just need to fight monsters from the abyss and a dragon. No pressure or anything.
Humans aren't without their strengths. Let's go.
And so, epic actions of brave heroes finally leads to this 11th hour.
Okay. I'm a fire dragon. Regarding writing, I am... Okay, well, that wasn't too bad. Can't believe I actually noticed that guy before I woke him up, though. But yeah. But anyways, I am firmly in the belief that if a detail in your story does not expand on the world, move the plot forward, or build on a character, it's most likely not worth inserting into the story via showing or telling, frankly. Now, I say most likely, not in all cases, but for the most part, if it doesn't do any one of those three things, it probably doesn't necessarily need to be included, which is definitely something that I had a problem with very early on, for sure. So then the question becomes is, how do you show and how do you tell? Well, that's not exactly a very simple answer because, you know, as simple as it does sound, show versus tell, they're both complex in their own ways. This is especially true of individuals who are like writers who are not used to thinking about it like this, who might not necessarily know how to do one or the other. But I guess I can probably start it up with this. So if you're a writer, whether you're experienced or whether you're a bit more of an amateur, you know, try an exercise. Oh, jeez! Just as I'm about to, you know, ask you to try like a specific method or something. As I'm about to do that, I do attack some Hellicher rolls and a magician, I think it was. Now keep in mind that this exercise that I'm about to, you know, present to you isn't something that you should do every single time, but at least it kind of gets you in the idea of what you might need to do. Okay. And again, it does really give you an idea about the familiarity with the whole show concept. So write a story as you normally would for a scene. Just for a short scene, you could use one of your own stories if you have it, but just write like a few sentences, maybe a few paragraphs or a page, something just real nice and easy and simple. So if you've got your scene, you know, written out, or if you might need a little bit, no worries, you know, sometimes you just need a little bit of time. But once you do finish that scene, you know, think about a multitude of factors, you know. What does your character see? What are their eyes doing? You know, what does everything look like around them? You know, what does your character hear? What does whatever they hear sound like? I mean, what do the other characters' voices sound like if there are any other characters? How is your character talking? Are they fast? Are they slow? Are they stuttering? Are they quiet? Maybe quick-witted? Maybe they're loud with anger. And how is your character, you know, moving around? What are their hands? What are their feet? What are their body? What are all the little parts of their body doing? What do other objects feel like? You know, paper, trees, a smartphone, wind, cobblestone, anything they might touch even on a day-to-day basis. And you know, what is your character thinking? Like, what exactly is going through their mind? And how is it affecting the rest of their body? And again, you don't have to do this every single time, but these are questions you want to consider for more like, you know, sensory detail showing methods. Okay,
It's a storm barrier. It looks so dangerous.
Leave it to me. Although this wooden lyre is all I have, I don't need the lyre to break through this kind of storm barrier. Wait, what is that?
That's what? Ow.
Enemy attack! Prepare yourselves!
Okay.
The stage will need to be cleared before I can begin my performance. Generally speaking, such chores are not the concerns of the performer himself.
Wait, what's going on? There shouldn't be any hilly trail camps in the vicinity of Storm Terror's lair.
I disperse the wind barrier now. Come on, let's go. What?
The hilly trolls usually do not venture into areas with high elemental concentrations.
It's the Abyss Order,
It
probably.
puts a heavy burden on their bodies.
The Abyss Order must be manipulating them behind the scenes, yet they shouldn't have been able to determine that we would come, and presumably spreading their forces to halt our plans.
Just an inside man.
Without further ado, I suppose I can play faster if my only audience is the wind.
You're almost like very childlike. Oh, my booty. Wow.
It actually opened. You're not entirely useless, Tone Deaf Bard.
This is it.
Wow.
We are now entering Storm Terror's lair. Watch yourselves. Let's move.
Yep. Alright. Empty abode. Go to Storm Terror's lair. Hey, bray. Hey, bray. Oh, shit, bro. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Oh, damn. Hold up. I'm about to get a better view, I think. Ooh.
Looks like this is the front gate to Storm Terror's lair.
Damn.
The gate is enormous compared to us. But
That's
still,
huge,
Paimon
yeah.
wonders how Dvalin gets in there with a body that huge.
He doesn't walk in. He flies in.
Oh. You do have a point.
I mean, I thought that was obvious, but I thought Paimon was talking about something else. I don't know. Come on, let's go. All right.
It's stuck.
What?
It's stuck.
Hey, check out that roof. Is there a giant hole in it?
That there is. What's your point?
I suppose we could make use of that wind current.
Let's make a detour then. Heading up.
Let's make a detour then. Heading up.
Venti, why?
Do you think there will be abyss mages hiding in the ruins?
Oh,
Either way, if we do run into one, we will let the victorious Master Diluc do the...
Do not underestimate them just because I have beaten one of them before. I'm not boasting. I'm simply saying there is more to the Abyss Order than a few mages.
Correct. That's why I tagged along after all. Well, that and also for your safety. Why am I so diligent? Too diligent for a poet, in fact.
So says the person that made zero effort to search for the dragon tears and drink in the tavern all day. Paimon doesn't get it. What part of you is remotely diligent?
I swear I'm gonna eventually continue with, you know, writing topics, but there's a lot going on right now. Oop. I was hoping I wasn't gonna hit that thing, but oh crap. I did it again.
You're in for a little shock.
Oh.
Look, a wind current.
Yeah, I see that.
It might lead us to the top of the tower.
But the world opens itself before those with noble heart. Okay. Ah, here we are. Wow. I was about to say, yeah, I felt like this was going to be pretty important. I don't think I can worship the statue. Oh. Oh, shit. Yes. Max stamina increase. Hell yeah. I'll take it. Beautiful. Thank you. I need 6 more in order to worship for the next level. That is perfectly fine. Oh, look at that. My adventure rank is like 3/4 of the way now. Oh boy. I got the feeling that something big is coming. That's why I haven't been talking about writing stuff lately. Oh, alright.
No, we can't advance any further. The ruins seem to be guarded by ancient seals.
Is this the work of Dvalin?
No. These ruins were once part of an ancient city. Dvalin just happens to be nesting in these ruins for now. These ruins even predate the existence of the Four Winds.
I vaguely remember talking about
Mondstadt is a city
the
without a
ones.
ruler. However, before it was ruled over by a tyrant. Anyway, I'll sing you that story when we have a chance in the future.
The markings on this seal. If my archaeological knowledge is not mistaken, this appears to be a light act.
A what?
If we retrieve and reintegrate all the parts, we should be able to get it working.
We should be close to
Okay.
completing the ceremony for this actuator. Let's put the last part back and see.
Okay. Okay, let's see if this actually works. Oh, okay, I'll take that as a yes. You really had to make me do that, huh? Alright, that's fine, that's fine. What do you think,
like
Venti?
we're right.
Hmm?
There are 3 more halos circling the tower.
Wait, there's more?
Which means there are 3 more corresponding light actuators to activate.
Oh boy.
I can see one from here. The rest must be scattered within the ruins around here. Let's go find them.
Okay.
Why did Dvalin pick a place filled with puzzles and seals as his lair? Doesn't he get annoyed coming back home?
He doesn't walk in. He flies in.
You do have a point.
He already pointed that out earlier, too. Watch, they're probably gonna be guarded or something like that. Okay, so I guess it's gonna take me a little bit longer than anticipated, which is fine. You know, not a big deal at all. Oh, there's multiple seals per actuator. There we go. Aha. Got it. Ah, there's the last one. Can I grab both of them? Yes, I can. Bada bing, bada boom. I've got the remaining 2 seals that I need for this particular actuator. Beautiful!
Looks like I got carried away.
I did not mean to make her fall that
Wow,
much.
this light actuating ceremony does work magic.
Uh-huh. Guess so.
It looks like one of the...
Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to do that, but, I accidentally did that. Whoops. Something that I had to learn to kind of get used to a little bit with, the whole writing and show and don't tell thing is emotions and feelings. Like, for a long time, I did just kind of definitely just state whatever emotion was happening, but that was pretty much about it. Stating that a character is sad, but not thinking about what happens when those emotions, like, you know, like, what happens when you feel that emotion? Like, yeah, you feel sad, but what does that actually mean? What sensations are there associated with the emotion that you are describing? Like, yeah, let's use the sad example, you know, when you're sad, there could be a number of things that can happen to different people. Your eyes might be wet and dry and itchy all at the same time. Maybe your chest feels tight. Your nose might be a little bit runny, especially if you've been crying. It might hurt to swallow. I mean, maybe you feel like you need to crawl into a ball. Oh boy, not one of these. Maybe you feel like you need to curl up into a ball, or, you know, into your bed and just forget about everything else. Maybe your stomach could feel empty. It could have knots in it. I mean, your arms and legs, they might feel heavy and weighted down by whatever's ailing you. Maybe you just feel physically and emotionally numb. No way that they're all just right here. No way is it this easy. Ah, I knew it wasn't this easy.
Wind blades.
Alright. I was about to say, yeah, there's no freaking way it's just that easy. And I was right. I was absolutely right. Okay. Alright, 2 down, 1 to go. It said 3 to go, and I'm like, no, there's 3 total. Don't be a dumbass.
It seems 2 of the halos have become solid ground.
Yep.
One more and the seals at the top of the tower will be broken.
Okay, where's that? It's like some of the animalculi can be a little bit easy to get to, but sometimes they're not. Oh, animal. Oh. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. So yeah, like, whenever a writer says that the character is feeling an emotion, what does that actually mean? Like, what are they experiencing as they feel that emotion? And that's something that I used to not be good at all. I'd train and practice to get much better at that. Okay. Now we just got to get this right. Wait, there's another one? Where? What? Ah. I had a feeling it was probably in this tree. Sweet. Oh, would you look at that? Another diamond chunk. Another thing to think about with the showing in the writing is, you know, there are so many different words and phrases that you're able to use when showing. Like, so an example is to use strong verbs when it comes to showing. Instead of, you know, he talks or she says, you have a ton of other words at your disposal. Disposable? Disposal. I mean, just look at the plethora of words that you have available to use instead. You know, you chant, you scream, you yowl, ask, explain, suggest, ramble, scold, exclaim. There's so many different varieties than just he said, she said, he said, she said this, she said that. Like there's so many more words available to you. Well, not to mention that overall sensory details are like a huge part of, and crucial to showing and writing instead of telling. You know, say that there's a forest near a park. Yeah, there's a forest near a park. But there's so much more. Like, what does it smell like? Are there birds chirping? Are there insects buzzing? Maybe there's some squirrels that are chittering. I think that's the right word they use. Is the forest like very green with raindrops and dew all over the place? It smells like petrichor and like in the springtime, or is it dry and yellow like, you know, towards the end of fall, in the middle of winter, there's just not a lot of life. You hear the crunching of the leaves as you take steps. But yeah, imagine in this park that, you know, you find a piece of bark. You know, is it like, you know, rough and ragged and dry, or maybe it falls apart and sits like wet decay in your hands. Like, I know that's probably not the most pleasant image in anybody's mind, but like, these are the kinds of things that you don't have to think about, but you should think about when it comes to showing in a story. Another important thing is to use adjectives in your story, but don't overuse it. It's all about balance. You have a okay. Again, you have a massive amount of, you know, words that are at your disposal that can describe a variety of characters, objects, sounds, scenarios, buildings, that kind of stuff. And if there's a certain word that you're looking for, but you can't quite think of what it is, use like an online thesaurus. I mean, I've used those kinds of things all the time. Oh, hold up, there's one. I use online thesauruses all the time. Like, if there's a particular word I'm trying to think of, or like, you know, I'm trying to think of a word, but it doesn't quite match what I'm currently thinking. Now I just break you apart like nothing. Where are the others? Is the question. Oh, there's another Animalculus. Oh, it's up there. Oh. Wait, oh, I think I see them both.
Oh, so sorry.
There's still another one. Bada bing, bada boom. Not even really a challenge.
Is this an answer from this world?
Okay, I see what I have to do. And bada bing, bada boom. Alright. There we go. Have what I need. Yeah, seriously. If you're ever stuck trying to figure out a word or not, online thesaurus. Man, it's crazy how cool. Yes! Adventure rank 19. Hallelujah.
It's done!
Mm-hmm.
Paimon thinks we should venture onward from here.
Kaylin agrees. Yeah, see, sometimes they're just like super easy to find, you know? Super accessible. The times they're not. So I keep talking about, you know, all this showing, but it's like, but why show? Like, why do you show? Why is it important to do that? Well, I mean, there are a lot of reasons. For one thing, definitely the biggest thing, I think, is that it allows the reader to imagine and interpret the story in their own head. And sometimes they can do it very vividly if you're good at what you're doing. And it allows the reader to connect to the story in a very immersive way. Sometimes showing can be very dramatic, and it keeps the reader invested when they're able to see and feel and experience whatever's being presented in the story when you do have a more show technique. And not to mention that, you know, many fictionalized worlds can be imagined by the writer very clearly, but the same is not necessarily true for the reader, so unless they have, like, you know, details or some kind of point of reference. So showing gives writers the ability to, well, show readers exactly what they see in their minds, or at least something close to it. And this is especially true with, like, you know, fantasy and sci-fi worlds, and as well as, you know, with various kinds of characters, including non-human characters, especially non-human characters. You know, even for very experienced writers, and I wouldn't even necessarily consider myself well, I might be experienced, I'm just not necessarily professional. There's a difference between having experience and, you know, having a professional idea about everything. But I would call myself still an experienced writer, but even then, between amateurs and experienced writers, it can still be hard to know when to use the show or when to use the tell. Because, like, there's definitely a time and a place for both, but it's not always clear as to when one should be used over the other. There are some really general, I wouldn't even call them guidelines, but general ideas as to when one or both can be used, but there's nothing necessarily set in stone. Like, dialogue is typically seen as a form of, like, you know, telling. Yeah, dialogue is often seen as a form of telling, but and that's not usually an issue, because it's not necessarily like a form of exposition when it comes to dialogue, depending on the frequency that it's used. But definitely beware the dialogue dumps. There we go.
I'm thinking about turning these adventures into songs after we're done.
We have gone through a
Hopefully, this
lot
song will
lately.
be sung for years to come by the people of Mondstadt, just like the legend of Vanessa.
I have
Vanessa?
loved that song since I was small.
Vanessa? Okay.
How are you feeling today, Honorary? I am completely prepared and fully confident that we can do this.
I'm also
Even
prepared.
Master D. Luke accompanied us to the very end, despite only being an accidentally involved bystander.
Paimon, shut up.
You shared your secret with me, and I only returned your trust to the same extent.
Yeah, what about
It's
Venti?
freedom.
Oh, okay.
Freedom?
When you first arrived at Mondstadt, did no one tell you that Mondstadt is the city of freedom?
Yeah, yeah, Amber did.
She really is a child of freedom. Mondstadt is a romantic city without the reign of a king, and its citizens enjoy the most freedom amongst the 7 nations.
Damn.
I hope the dragon that once protected Mondstadt will soon be free too. No one should have deceived him by telling him that Mondstadt betrayed him, and no
Yeah.
one should have told him that it was his eternal duty to protect the city. He has
Damn.
the right and freedom to choose his own way of life.
Venti?
Well then,
That was
traveler,
very deep,
may
Venti.
the thousands of years of wind that have blown through Mondstadt go with you. Just like the last time, I shall channel animal energy for you.
Last time?
Oh, no wonder you said his voice sounds familiar.
It's been a while since I played this, so I definitely missed something. Oh boy. Confronting Storm Terror, huh? Haven't even finished. So, I guess I can at the very— oh boy. I'm gonna party level 26. Okay. Um, Let's say I'm good. Alright, so I think I got everybody, so let's go ahead and start. So, let's see if I can finish off some of the showing, don't tell.
There are 2 shiny spots on Dvalin's back.
Uh-oh.
They appear to be poisonous blood clots that have coagulated on his wounds.
Ouchie.
The Abyss Order must have cursed the wounds. That's what's corrupting Dvalin's mind. To save Dvalin, we're going to have to get rid of those blood clots. Aim for those blood clots.
Okay.
Dvalin is getting away, but I'm familiar with his tactics. Just hold on a bit longer. I'll extract and condense the pure animo from the shots being fired. Shattering them will create acceleration currents.
Okay.
I can't control where they will appear, so keep your eyes peeled.
Okay, I will try. Got it. Oh my goodness. Ah, I see what I'm doing now. I understand. Alright, here we go. No, maybe not. Okay, almost. Okay, now here we go. Oh man, come on. Jesus Cristo, can I stop getting attacked by these things so much? Close. Alright.
Sorry, this is hurting you.
There were 2, weren't they? I was about to say, I think I only got 1. I only got one of them. Okay. What in the crew? What did I just say? What was that? Oh boy.
Now we can fight Dvalin on equal grounds. The grandest bard is here to help. But first, let me be clear. Even after hundreds of years without use, Dvalin's teeth and claws are still very dangerous.
Oh, this is kind of whack.
That was our chance. Aim for the tainted blood clot on his neck.
Oh. Come on.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, Venti. I didn't mean to do that.
This is Dvalin's ace in the hole. Celestinum Finale Termini.
This dragon has strange taste when it comes to naming things.
I named it for him just now.
Seriously?
Oh, scheisse.
Well, anyway, let's ride the wind currents and stay away from the breaking platforms. The The energy flooding out from the fissures will be hot. Be sure to watch your step.
So please though, man. Come on, I'm so close. There we go. There we go.
Aim for the tainted blood clot on his neck.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, come on, man. Do you see how close I am, bro? I saw that. Okay, here we go.
Aim for the tainted blood clot on his neck.
Sake, man. I was one hit away, for real. I was one hit away. Come on. Bruh. Bruh. What's up with that? What's up with that?
This place is gonna collapse!
Yeah, think. And everybody falls through. Is Dvalin gonna save us? Did Dvalin save us? Yay! Dvalin saved us!
It's been a while since we flew like this together. Huh, Dvalin?
Just now. Why? Why did you not ask me to protect you like the last time?
Yeah.
Not wanting you to listen to the Abyss Order doesn't mean that you have to listen to me. Freedom, if demanded of you by an Archon, is really no freedom at all.
Is this the power of the Animo Archon? But I am no longer part of the Four Winds.
Even if that's so, you still protected us regardless. Now spread your wings of freedom and go with my blessing.
Damn. Dvalin is free.
And so, the Storm Terror threat was quelled.
Yes, it was.
I clarified the misunderstanding to the citizens of Mondstadt and let them know that they are safe. To them, it seems Storm Terror attacked Mondstadt out of nowhere and then vanished just as quickly. They must be finding the whole ordeal very confusing.
However, winds change their course. Someday, they will blow towards a brighter future.
Nice. Well, that took much longer than that whole thing took much longer than I expected. Oh, 1 day later. Okay. I still have a little bit I need to talk about showing and telling. Oh.
You guys are back! The honorary knight returns triumphant.
Damn right I do.
Yep, we're back from tussling with Dvalin.
You just returned yesterday, right? Jean got back first, and she told us all about your heroic deeds.
I wonder if I'll ever get an opportunity like that.
That
Sure.
doesn't come into it. You guys deserve all the credit for how you resolved this crisis. When I brought you into the city that day, I was just doing my duty as an outrider.
You're welcome. But have you been waiting for us here this whole time?
Of course not. Just because I'm not out on the front line doesn't mean I don't have work to do. In fact, I'm dealing with the aftermath of the crisis as we speak.
What aftermath?
Aftermath? Here? What happened in Mondstadt?
Good question.
While Master Jean was away, the monsters lurking nearby made a coordinated attack on the city. Fortunately, we weren't completely taken by surprise. I detected the Hilly Churls were moving closer to the city a while back.
Oh, yeah! Paimon remembers. When we first met, you were clearing out one of their camps.
I've been clearing out their camps for a
Exactly.
while.
And if we hadn't started making preparations back then, Mondstadt would be in much greater danger by now.
Yeah,
I
why
know,
would they do this?
it's strange. Hilly Churls aren't usually capable of coordinating like
It's
this.
the Abyss Order.
Our best guess is that the Abyss Order is behind it.
They've taken over the Hilly Churls.
It's not even a guess, really.
Good thing we saved Dvalin, or they might have taken him too.
That's right. And since I'm the Outrider, it's up to me to keep eyes on the Abyss Order from now on. I'm sorry. You should be celebrating your victory, not listening to all this somber talk.
Well, it's important to know what's going on.
I promised to take you out for some sticky honey roast, didn't I? Before everyone got caught up in the storm terror crisis. There's no time like the present, right? You guys hungry?
Sure.
You bet! You may have forgotten till just now, but it's been on Paimon's mind this whole time.
I'm not surprised.
Awesome, let's go! It's been way too long since I last ate a sticky honey roast myself. Wait for me at Good Hunter. I'll be right there. I just have to clean up here real quick.
Cool. I guess I'll do that. Anyways, moving on to some of the last show not tell related stuff. So, telling is not a bad thing. It's not. You know, in certain contexts, telling can be a bit too empty or unsatisfying or too, like, you could be droning on for too much. It might not be enough, or it might feel like it's rushed. So, but the other thing is that overusing the show technique as well could lead to an overly detailed story, like mine from the past for sure, that can become a chore for the readers to, you know, read. So, showing in moderation and telling in moderation, like that balance between both of those, is key to writing an effective story that, you know, readers can read with interest.
Here we go. This is it.
What?
Crisis, danger, the thrill of adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Adventurers Guild. Finally, our days of rescuing kittens and finding lost puppies are over. The age of adventure is upon us. Roll up, youngsters. Join the Adventurers Guild today. In this time of great upheaval, we must rally together, take on the dragon, and save our great city of Mondstadt.
About that.
What? What? The storm terror threat is resolved? I missed the acting clanmaster's speech?
Yep.
Storm terror should have put up more of a fight. We didn't get to join in.
Put up a big fight. What are you talking about? Okay. So, yeah, using the show technique can definitely bog down a story with unnecessary details, but whether or not you're showing or telling, you should only include what's necessary to get the story moving forward. And showing doesn't even necessarily mean that you have to be super elaborate with it every time.
Long live the heroes. Thank you. It's finally over. Many trade routes have closed due to the storm terror incident. We can cope for now without fresh fruit and vegetables. But if the wine supply dries up, we're all doomed. I cannot imagine a world without wine.
No wine.
I hope they get the trade routes back up and running soon.
Now, when it comes to writing stories, some concepts definitely work better with show, like, you know, character experiences, world building, some actions, creating tension, and other concepts works better with tell, you know, comedy, dialogue, certain kinds of actions, off-screen stories, but they're not mutually exclusive. You know, sometimes these concepts can overlap just as much as they can be differentiated. Sister Grace.
Storm Terror's true identity is Dvalin, one of the Four Winds. We never should have forgotten his past sacrifice for Mondstadt. Every cloud has a silver lining. We're fortunate that our relationship with the Dragon of the East didn't sour past the point of no return. For that, we have you to thank. As long as we have the Knights of Favonius,
Angie.
peace and freedom will...
Yup. How many people am I talking to? I'm talking to... Wait, what? Oh. Hi, Kaya. What's up?
Greetings. May I take your order?
Why so cold? I've always thought that we enjoy quite the intimate friendship.
Hello.
It seems your great battle sharpened not only your combat skills, but your wit as well. A knight after my own heart.
Are you flirting with me?
Bask in the presence of Mondstadt's new big hero is quite the morale boost. And that's coming from a knight.
Why does he flirt with me?
Sweet-talking, sugar-coated Captain Kaya.
Nonsense. I speak from the heart.
Yeah, what are you
Just
doing here?
looking for a quiet spot to collect my thoughts.
While all the other knights are working working hard to clean up after the battle?
Thinking can be an arduous task, you know. Believe
He's
me,
not entirely
I'd
wrong.
much rather be taking out the trash.
So what you thinking about then?
The Abyss Order. A dragon wreaks havoc in Mondstadt, and the acting Grand Master leaves the city to combat the threat. Strategically, that's the perfect moment for the Abyss Order to make their move. If you were the Abyss Order, would you squander this golden opportunity by sending in nothing more than a few hilly churls?
There's gotta be more.
To get to the bottom of it, I decided to wait. So I waited, and watched for their next move.
And
then
did you
came the
discover
day
anything?
you made all hell break loose in Storm Terror's lair. Just as the hilly churls' cries sounded from the city gates, that same day, I saw shadowy figures lurking in the city itself.
Inside the city?
Well, all the other knights were outside, fighting the enemy. As you can imagine, that left the inside of the city completely unguarded. Except for me, of course. And so I approached the Abyss Order infiltrators for a bit of, let's call it fraternizing. Through various means, I managed to gather some rather interesting intel.
Do tell.
The situation is this. The Abyss Order, they are united under a single leader.
The Abyss Order has a leader?
Yes. And it was this very leader who devised the plot to turn Dvalin into a weapon of war.
Let's be
What
smart.
exactly did you have to do to find this out?
Let's just say I'm blessed with certain linguistic powers. There's more. The Abyss Order has a name for this leader. They call him the Prince.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry to cut this intelligence briefing short, but I do believe I spy Amber heading this way. I think she's still angry with me for my absence from the defense effort during the attack.
Oh boy.
I'd better slip away before she notices me.
I mean, maybe so, but you found some valuable intel. The Prince?
1 minute I see Kaya, the next he's slipped away. Clear sign of a guilty conscience.
He does a lot
Are
behind
you
the
sure?
scenes.
Because that sounds like exactly what he'd say to talk himself out of trouble.
Maybe.
But let's forget about him. I worked super hard today, and my tummy's rumbling. Let's order. Hi, Sarah.
Sure.
1 sticky honey roast, please.
Okay.
So, now the Storm Terror threat is behind us. What are your plans for the next step?
Probably leeway.
Paimon thinks it's time to leave Mondstadt and keep looking through the 7 nations until we find clues about her brother.
Huh,
So,
really?
leeway.
Oh, well, I guess this is goodbye for now.
I'll miss you
Hey,
guys.
don't feel down. You'll always be a friend of the Knights of Avonius, and our honorary knight.
Let the wind
That's
lead.
the spirit. Remember, Mondstadt will always welcome you. All right, now let's eat before it gets cold.
Oh, I'm sure you enjoy a relaxing mealtime. So yeah, let's go ahead and just conclude this with
That was good. Note to Paimon, Amber's recommendations are worth the wait.
Of course. Well, I don't trust myself in the kitchen. You can always trust me with the menu. Oh, I almost forgot to mention.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's late.
Jane's waiting for you at the cathedral. It's something to do with the Holy Lyre de Himmel. You'd better head there now.
Okay. Well, I'm probably not going to do that right now. I might make my way, but I'm not actually going to do anything just yet. Because I'm going to conclude it with, you know, the whole, you know, show don't tell guideline. So again, it's not necessarily a rule, but it can become a helpful guideline for newer authors and writers. But this concept is more, it can become more complex over time. You gain a better understanding of it, and it's more of a, you know, when do you show, when do you tell, and how much do you do it? So, you know, writing in moderation with both these techniques is absolutely key. And all you can really do is just practice with this kind of stuff. There are many other like I'm just talking basics, but there are so many techniques related to, you know, practicing, showing, and telling, like both of them, because they're both very important. And of course, be sure to ask for some feedback from others too. You know, it'll take time to learn how to show, how to tell, when to apply which one of them, and how much to apply. You know, sometimes you may even end up doing both at the same time, but needless to say, they're both very important, and they're both key to storytelling, and the show don't tell really is a misnomer. You can do one or the other, you can do both, but both they have their value with writing stories. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna end it here, because it's late. It's so late, man. I need to stop playing, I need to stop talking, I need to go to bed. Although I probably won't go to bed just yet. I may have to do a couple other little things first, but that's fine, that's fine. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead, I will end it here. So thank you all for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned a little bit more about Show Don't Tell. Again, huge misnomer, but I spent a whole video explaining it, and then also fighting Storm Terror. So, as usual, until next video, guys, check you laters.